Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second session of the 2014 MyBroadband Conference. Over the last decade, the MyBroadband Conference attracted some of the most influential telecommunications executives in South Africa. We caught up with some of them to find out what their highlights were over the last 10 years and how they see the industry.
I'm currently busy with an internet startup company. It's quite innovative and we're getting to meet a lot of interesting people around the world. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm also sitting on a couple of boards, one of them being Dark Fiber Africa, and I'm quite happy to be associated with them. It's quite different from running a big telecommunication company. You don't have to worry about the slow pace of change and the lack of innovation that sometimes happen, and you definitely don't have to worry about the change in the regulations all the time. Yes, I do follow the industry quite a bit. Obviously look at MyBroadband daily and watching all the breaking news on MyBroadband. Also my association with Dark Fiber Africa, keeping up to breast what's happening in the larger industry. Well, the biggest highlight, of course, I have to say, has to be the launch of uncapped internet access. That together with the arrival of Seacom on the continent has made a huge difference in the market. And then privately owned fiber networks, I think, has contributed a lot to the industry and how corporates and residential users actually use the internet. To improve the broadband market in South Africa for the consumer, the best thing that can happen is to offer uncapped internet access in an unshaped manner. And there, I think, if one can actually do it over fiber to the home, that would be the best of all worlds for the consumer. Hope everybody have a good time, and I'm sure it's going to be as informative as usual.
So I work at Remgro. Remgro's got investments in various sectors, ranging from healthcare, finance, infrastructure, telecommunications. So I'm no longer involved in the day-to-day running of a business. I'm representing Remgro on the boards of many of these organizations, and I have more time to strategically look at things, look more into the future, and hopefully in that way still make a difference to the country and the economy. And I also get to live in Cape Town, and I enjoy my running. Did the 2 Oceans this year, also still enjoy my cycling. Yeah, so Remgro has investments in the telecommunications sector, Seacom and DFA, Dark Fiber Africa, and I represent Remgro on the boards of these two organizations. So in that way, even though I'm not involved in the day-to-day running, I still represent them on the board and in that way involved in telecommunications. I'm also still a keen power user of that broadband. In fact, my wife is now the bigger user. She clocks up more than 100 gigs a month. And I'm looking forward to the day where we all have better and faster and more affordable broadband. Then I also continue to every morning read my broadband daily newsletter. I've been involved in data communications since the mid-80s. And I remember in those days we were very excited when speeds went up to 75 bits per second on the modem. Things have moved a long way since then, and one of the big events that stand out for me is when we launched 3G in 2005. I remember the launch was over the Christmas, December holiday period. I remember the tariff, 40,000 Rand a gigabyte. We didn't have many takers. I was probably the only user at that tariff. Lesson from that, don't always listen to your finance people's business plans. Listen to your marketing guys as well. Then if I look further down the line, Seacom, the launch of Seacom was a big event. It definitely triggered internet tariffs to come down, and today you can have internet through ADSL, soon mobile broadband at a couple of $100 for 100 gigs a month. For us to get to broadband heaven, a few things probably need to happen. Firstly, government need to get their act together, get moving on releasing more spectrum to the industry so that the industry can improve quality, improve speeds, improve the tariffs. Then we need to focus on the fixed side as well. We need fiber to the business, we need fiber to the home, and hopefully one day we will all be able to have 100 gigabytes at 100 megabits per second for 100 rand. Wouldn't that be great? And then this conference, this is a good place to start, where we can debate these issues and find solutions and work together at shaping the future of broadband and telecommunications in this country.
So I'm currently trying my mettle on being an entrepreneur. I'm helping the founders of a super fast, super scalable and super reliable data store, Crate.io, for those who would like to have a look, to find the right product market fit, to find the right kind of customers. We're right now talking to several telcos, and we help them centralize data from different data storages, data warehouses, structured and unstructured data, into one store to actually make big data happen. We work right now with one that has over 150 databases, and we're consolidating all of the data in those 150 databases into one to allow for better and more timely analysis and action. Very exciting stuff. I'm really enjoying myself, so I haven't really moved away from telco. I'm just looking at it from a different angle. Yes, I do. My Google search for all things South Africa, you can see a little bit of South Africa right behind me, is still on, and I'm trying to keep abreast on what's going on, what's happening. I'm very happy to see that what I started, namely to bring competition and innovation to the market, is working, and the customers are today getting better services and better prices than they did a couple of years ago. I'm not happy, I'm actually very sad to see that South Africa has dropped to last place in the World Economic Forum league table for math. It proves that what I had to say in 2011, that education matters more than ever, is still true. And yes, there is a lot to do, a lot more than maybe 2011. The longer we wait, the more pupils and students will fall behind, which in turn means South Africa will not be able to compete on a global scale. And we are creating huge social problems that will bring South African society into major trouble. So I really hope we can see some progress on that front. Well, for one, I can see a lot more competition than before, and that is a good thing. It's a good thing for customers, and I think it's a good thing for operators too. It keeps everybody on their toes, and it ensures that customer focus is sharpened, and more importantly ensures that also the pencils are sharpened, that we can offer better pricing to consumers. The next thing that I find interesting is that we start to have some real convergence. Vodacom buying Neotel, I think, is very significant. I hear there's other deals going on, maybe, we'll see. And last but not least, Telkom opening up and starting to see that sharing what they have, and they do have a lot in the ground, even though they want to have a price for it, is a good thing. I think Telkom is doing the right thing there. As I've said many times, broadband for the masses is where it's at. The majority of people will access the internet and all the good things that can come with it via mobile. Smart learning, smart cars, smart homes, smart cities, smart farming, smart health, just to name some. All this can and will come to consumers predominantly via mobile. So whatever can be done to make it easier to provide better coverage with more throughput is a good thing. So I can think of 3 or 4 things we can do for that. A, faster and more reliable processes to build sites. B, faster and more reliable processes to string fiber to those sites and around the country. Ease of sharing infrastructure from a regulatory perspective would be C. D, lowering tariffs and taxes on mobile devices. Those are much more expensive in South Africa than they are in most other countries around the world. And last but not least, The government and the various departments must see mobile broadband as a huge stepping stone, an enabler to a modern South Africa. A stepping stone that must not be buried under regulations and lack of coordination between government and municipalities. I hope we'll see progress on that front, and if we do, I think we'll see a prospering and growing South Africa. Thank you and have a great conference.
These executives were all MyBroadband award winners in the past. And to see who will take home this year's award, please welcome MyBroadband founder Rudolf Müller to the stage.